Impact Wrestling presents No Surrender.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following 8-man tag team contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing team number one first. From Toronto, Ontario, Canada, the Impact World Champion, the Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander.
Our first time seeing Josh Alexander in action here in the Impact Zone since the hellacious Full Metal Mayhem match at Hard to Kill, where he successfully defended his Impact World title against Bully Ray.
And he now knows who he will face at No Surrender in Las Vegas.
From Yucatan Valley, California, Frankie Kazarian.
One of Alexander's teammates tonight, a man who challenged him for the title at Overdrive late last year, but he's also going to be teaming with, as you mentioned, his number one contender come No Surrender, Rich Swann. Also throw Yuya Uemura onto this team. This is a formidable force.
8-man tag, main event star-studded matchup to end your show tonight. That comes up next.
Alexander, Kazarian, Swann, and Uemura take on Callihan and the Design next. We are back here on Impact Wrestling on Access TV, set for our main event. It is an 8-man tag team matchup, and there you see Rich Swann, who is the number one contender to the Impact World Champion, Josh Alexander. 3 weeks from tomorrow, live on Impact Plus, Fight TV, and YouTube for our Ultimate Insiders in Las Vegas, Nevada. It'll be Swann versus Alexander for the Impact World title.
And that's something Swann has been on record as saying he's wanted very, very badly for months now. Ever since he lost the championship to Kenny Omega, he's wanted another chance at the gold, and now he has it.
He's got a team with Alexander this evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, their opponents. First, Khan, Angels, Diener, the Design. And their tag team partner, Callihan.
Callihan, of course, is continuing his initiation into the Design. It is the 7 deadly steps to be a part of Diener's faction.
Slowly moving his way through the steps. There's a bunch of people here, people like Rich Swann included, who are wondering what is going through the mind of Callihan. Somebody many used to call a friend, a partner, a brother in this business, not understanding where this is coming from. As you see there, Diener stripping away piece by piece the things we've come to know about Callihan. It's even hard for me to not say his name as his former identities. We all come to know and love him, but this is a new side of everything courtesy of the Design.
Access TV is bringing back the best damn night of rock and roll. Sunday Night Rocks returns to Access TV February 19th. Mark it down and get ready to rock. The 7 deadly steps for Callihan. Step 1, have his head shaved by Angels, Khan, and Diener. Step 2, show obedience to Diener. Step 3 was supposed to be completed last week. Callihan was a part of the Golden 6-shooter elimination match. It was only won by Rich Swann. Diener was commanding Callihan to bring the Impact World Championship to the clutches of the Design. This, tonight, is step 4.
Get him!
And you see there, Diener leading by example, immediately tagging Callihan not only into the matchup, but into the matchup with, like you said, Rich Swann, one of the people who has been closest to Callihan throughout his career and life. These two used to be very, very close. In addition to to being fierce rivals, a lot of history between these two.
And there was a point where Rich Swann didn't have anywhere to go. He was living with Sami Callihan for a number of years, trying to make it in the wrestling business, but because of other circumstances in his life, it was Swann who was living with Callihan. It took him several years to be able to branch out on his own, and he and Callihan have become as close as brothers at one point. That obviously disintegrated, as you mentioned, in a sadistic rivalry a number of years ago, and now I don't even know if Swann recognizes the person he sees in Callihan.
You know, oftentimes, especially in this business, the people you go to battle with the hardest become your closest friends and brothers. That was the case with Swann and Callihan, but that's why Rich Swann is so put off by this whole transition, as many are in Impact Wrestling.
And now Swann all over Angels of the Design. Swann backing Angels, and in comes Yuya Uemura.
Yuya, who's had his own issues with Design after they attempted to take out his new tag team partner.
Hook to the leg, kick out.
In Delirious a couple of weeks back. Yuya not taking too kindly to that action.
And that was on BTI 2 weeks ago, and look at this. Diener tags in, so does the longest reigning Impact World Champion of all time, Josh Alexander. Remember the hellacious battle that Alexander had back at Slammiversary in June against then the leader of Violent by Design, Eric Young. Diener and Joe Doring played a big part in that matchup that night. And ultimately, Alexander won.
But here we are, nearly closing in on a year later. Diener has inherited the shell of Violent by Design and created it, crafted it, molded it in his own image with a new army.
Oh, now look at this. All 8 men in the ring. Dangerous situation here.
Good pop up, and there it goes!
Swann, Alexander, Uemura, and Kazarian going after the Design, and Callihan.
Oh, looking here, clearing Khan out of the ring as well.
And Khan right back up on the apron. Oh, the monster of the Design hung up there by Alexander.
And Alexander follows up with that crossbody on the big man from the Design.
Oh, now look at this. Khan cannot be stopped. Hammering away on the Impact World Champion.
But look out!
And Swann protecting his tag team partner, protecting his opponent. Come no surrender. This 8-man tag team matchup is just getting started here at Access TV. Oh, we're back here in Impact Wrestling on Access TV. Uemura right now against Angels of the Design here in this 8-man tag team matchup. Oh, man, what a shot there. Kazarian has tagged himself in.
Kazarian, who made a triumphant and headline-making return to Impact Wrestling, is now here firing on all cylinders against the Design.
Side Russian leg sweep there, and look at Kazarian go, getting started here in this match. We talked about it earlier on, Ray Walt, when this match was just getting underway, is that Kazarian put Alexander through quite the test at the Overdrive event late last year, challenging for the Impact World Championship. We thought we'd seen the last of Kazarian for a while, but returned at Hard to Kill, announcing he's back here in Impact Wrestling.
I have to imagine that matchup that he had with Josh Alexander, the contest they went through, the war they went to, woke something up in Frankie Kazarian. Remembered exactly who he was. He wanted more of that. The competition here in Impact Wrestling, unlike anywhere else.
And now an example of the competition that's coming for Josh Alexander, past and present. Here's the cover by Swann and a kick out by Angels. 3 weeks from tomorrow at No Surrender, live on Impact Plus, Fight TV, and YouTube for our Ultimate Insiders in Las Vegas. It's Swann and Alexander for the Impact World title.
Right now, Angel saw an opening, catching Swann out of the air, slamming it down, and now it looks like the Design have found a window.
Oh, now Diener right to the eyes of Swann. Swann, who of course last week won the Golden 6-shooter elimination match that involved Callihan. Had Callihan been able to win that matchup and become the #1 contender to the Impact World title, that would have completed step 3 of Callahan's initiation into Diener's Design. tag.
The 7 deadly steps. I can only fathom to think what the remaining ones are, just how far Diener is going to push Callihan before he's an official, indoctrinated member of the design.
Now Khan hammering away on Swan. You know, we talked about it before the break that the design was born of Violent by Design. Once upon a time, the big monster Joe Doring was roaming around. There's the cover and a kick out. Now throw Khan into the mix with the design. It's terrifying.
Khan, who's somebody who I know from years back. I know the destruction he brings to any ring he steps in. You already see the mouth there. Rich Swann may have been busted open a little bit by the monster. Look at it now, tearing, ripping, clawing at the #1 contender's face.
Oh, a stomp there by Khan. And a tag made, in comes Callihan. And we saw last week, Ray Walton, the Golden Six-Shooter match, there was a moment of hesitation there by Callihan when he was going up against Swan, the last 2 members of that matchup. Do you think that's ultimately what cost Callihan?
I mean, it could have been. This is obviously, everybody is questioning what is going on here with Callihan. Where is the man that this company has known for years and years, a flag bearer for Impact Wrestling? But as much as there might have been hesitation in that Golden Six-Shooter, right now, there seems to be very little hesitation on the part of Callihan. I gotta say that.
Now look at Diener commanding Khan and Callihan to keep Swan in place. The official distracted by Diener.
See right there, Callihan looking very dedicated to the cause, if you will, Tom.
Completely agree, and you could see the frustration by Swan's team. A kick out by the #1 contender to the Impact World title.
And I mean, if the design here can keep Rich Swann isolated and can get a victory, especially over Rich Swann in particular, the #1 contender to Josh Alexander's World Championship, what a boon for them that would be.
Now Angels, one of the most dangerous high flyers in the game today. He's been all over the X Division in the past here in Impact Wrestling. Now a neck breaker by Angels. Here's the cover. Forearm in the face of Swan and a kick out. If you're the Impact World Champion, Josh Alexander, you're looking at the tenacity of Rich Swann right now. What are you learning before No Surrender?
That's right. I mean, they're on the same side of the ring tonight. They are tag team partners, but you don't become the longest reigning champion in Impact history by not keeping in mind your next opponent, and it's that man right there.
Khan's legal. Kazarian breaks it up, and just like the 6-person tag match 2 weeks ago, Kazarian's been itching to be involved in this one extensively.
100%. But I have to imagine, back to your point earlier, Josh Alexander is watching what counters Rich Swann. What is this team that Josh Alexander wants to beat right now? What are they doing to take advantage of Swann right here? There is no doubt in my mind the walking weapon is taking charge of that.
Yeah, Swann trying to reach out, really needs a tag here. Diener, the leader of the design, trying to prevent that tag from happening. Ripping Swann down by the dreadlocks.
Simple yet effective from Diener.
Diener sending Swann across the ring. Swann trying to leap out to make a tag, caught by Diener.
Didn't get it there, and see, this is what makes the design so dangerous. What a well-balanced team this is. You see the monster, Khan, the mastermind, Diener, the hacksaw high flyer in Angels, and this new addition in Callihan, who brings an X factor.
The leg drop by Khan. Is this enough? No, Swann still in this matchup. We hope you'll join us in Windsor, Ontario for the first Impact Wrestling events in Canada in 3 years. It's the 14th Sacrifice event. It'll be live on Impact Plus, Fight TV, and YouTube for our Ultimate Insiders Friday, March 24th, and on Saturday, March 25th, all the fallout from Sacrifice. Plus, Impact is returning to Toronto for the first time since 2019, live on pay-per-view and Fight TV. Sunday, April 16th for Rebellion, and the night after is all the fallout. Monday, April 17th. Tickets are on sale now at ImpactWrestling.com for all these events. Oh, Khan into the post.
And what is the scene gonna look like when we get to Windsor? As Rich Swann now making a break for a tag here.
Oh!
Callihan!
Big kick to the head, and here comes the Impact World Champion, Josh Alexander.
And there's a German for you, Diener, and one for Angels. Callihan into the the mix here. Germans for everybody.
Fresh off his Full Metal Mayhem title defense and hard to kill against Bully Ray. Oh, the German suplex, but Khan is legal.
Diener making a tag just before being thrown to the floor. And now, one for the big man.
Tried to get him up. Khan nearly 300 pounds. Oh, and the knee by Alexander. Khan's down. Khan's down. Oh, and a kick out. Oh, but Alexander going to the ankle.
Turning it right into an ankle lock. This is what beat Bully Ray at Full Metal Mayhem.
Bully Ray tapping out that night at Hard to Kill. Is Khan going to do the same? Alexander. Well, looked like he had control, and now Uemura makes the tag.
Looking to fly here.
Oh!
Huge drop kick to Khan.
And look at this, I believe a tag made. Callihan is legal.
Callihan, who has shown very little hesitation on behalf of the design here tonight. Go and gouging at the eyes of Uemura. And old habits still may be dying hard.
Oh, now Diener wanting Callahan's obedience, and there's Alexander.
Wants to strip away Callihan to build up.
Oh, is it time for the C4 spike now? Up on the shoulders.
Not today.
Oh, and Diener with some offense there, but clothesline. And Locust Swan.
Angel's looking for a kick of his own. And the half and half overhead to Swan.
Oh, shoulder right to the midsection. Oh! DDT by Kazarian. Khan catches Kaz.
And the action just keeps on rolling here. Non-stop from every member of this matchup. Oh my!
Look at the strength of Yuya. Oh, now Callihan trying to set up for the Cactus Driver 97 and an enziguri.
Uemura, though, on fire, wants to win this one for his team.
Uemura to the top turnbuckle, and now Diener. Oh! Taking Uemura's legs out from underneath him.
And could this be it? Gets it!
Cactus Driver 97. Step 4 complete for Callihan.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are your winners, Callihan and the Design.
And a victory for the Design.
One more step of the 7 deadly steps complete. Callihan one step closer to the Design.